advanced research. Oh my gosh, it's after Thanksgiving break already. I can't believe it. I wanted to give you a few quick updates on our course for this year and make sure everyone is in the right place with their work and their literature reviews. And I've moved around a few assignments to hopefully make it better for you to compose your literature reviews and a little bit easier to keep up with everything we need to do. So stay tuned. This video is going to have a lot of instructions and updates, and hopefully it'll be helpful in you planning out the rest of your work for the next few weeks. All right, here we go. So I've pulled up our course page on Google Classroom for you to follow along. If you go to our classwork page and you scroll down to where we are right now, which is M5, we're on our last module, you might see that one of the assignments from our previous module, I've moved the due date back just a little bit, actually several of the assignments, so that you have enough time to compose those. So we have the oral explanations of research, which I've moved to this Friday, as well as the peer evaluation for that, which I've moved to this Sunday. This is where you open up a Flipgrid, you talk about the research you've been doing for a little bit, you respond to the prompt, and then you respond to somebody else, give them some feedback and some ideas. This shouldn't be too formal. It's not like an actual formal presentation of your work. It's more of just a way to share what you've been working on with your other students in an oral format instead of in a written format. So please make sure you take a few minutes to work on that over the next few days. Now, there was another assignment that was coming up, this Pathways to Research work, which I've actually changed to an optional assignment. If you don't want to do this, you can just hit submit to get it off your plate, or you can remove it or ignore it or whatever. But this is an assignment that's actually helpful if you want to choose to continue in advanced research 2 and maybe pursue an internship in a lab once COVID is all over. I've moved this for several reasons. One, during COVID, it's a little bit hard to pursue internships in labs. And two, Ms. Howington is going to help you with this process a lot more in AR2 once that course happens. This year, this course is happening in the spring. So I'll give you some more information later on if you choose to continue into advanced research too. Long story short, this assignment is now optional. You can look at it if you want, but you don't have to do it. All right, the next important thing is our writing workshops. This is me basically forcing you to continue on writing and revising your rough drafts and getting some feedback from me and other students. There's some complicated instructions here, so make sure that you follow along in these next few seconds of the video. So for the work, the instructions are right here. You can follow along in Google Classroom, but by the end of this assignment, you're going to be looking at least 2 other students' literature reviews and reviewing them, getting some feedback to them, and also getting some feedback for yourself, and hopefully getting some ideas to improve your literature review. During this time, I'm also going to take a deep dive into your literature reviews again, and I will edit them up to 1 page of your work before you finally turn it in and I grade it. So if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, I encourage you to select the page that you're struggling with the most, or the page you think you could use the most feedback on, and submit it in this assignment. And I will take a really heavy edit on it, and I will look at it for scientific accuracy, for your writing quality, make some suggestions on your citations if you want, but you can only choose 1 page for me to do this for. I'm not going to heavy edit your entire literature review. So pick the 1 page you really want me to see before you turn it in. Now, if you don't want to take advantage of this opportunity, you can always decline and say, I don't want you to look at it, Ms. Lassiter, until it's totally done, and that's fine. But I really encourage you to do that part of the assignment. Now, what you are required to do is to edit at least 2 other students' work. So you're going to review the peer editing table that I have attached, and you're going to attach a link to a copy of your rough draft or your rough draft to the table so other students can access it. Make sure you turn on sharing settings so at least other people can comment, if not make suggestions. Please do that by Friday of this week. This whole assignment is not due until Sunday evening. By Friday or earlier, I want you posting a link to your rough draft in the document so your editors can start looking at that either now or over the weekend, but Friday at the latest. If you do not want your work edited by other students, say you're embarrassed or you just don't think it's at a place where it would be helpful to get other students to review, you can always decline this as well. You can write decline in that spreadsheet. I really discourage this. I think it's super helpful to get other students to review your work, even if it's in a very early stage or you're a little bit nervous about it. Other students are very kind in general, and getting feedback from other people is a really good way to improve your writing. But if you want to decline, you can just write decline in the spreadsheet. But if you'd like to get it reviewed, please paste a link to that spreadsheet so other students can access it. Over the weekend, you're going to review the writing samples from at least from the 2 other students that you're assigned to. And you can use this form that I have attached here as a guide for how to edit the other students' work. You'll submit this whole assignment once you've uploaded your page for me to edit, as well as completed the edits of other students' work by Sunday evening. So I've extended that deadline. Normally we have our work due on Fridays. It's Sunday for this weekend. So here's the one page where you would submit your teacher edits. The writing workshop spreadsheet is attached here, so I'll show you how that works really quick. You have your name here, so if you're Rachel, you would post your paper link in this section here, and then Sarah and Skylar are going to be the ones editing Rachel's paper. So make sure you look for your name. It should be on here twice for the 2 papers you would edit. Again, if you're Rachel, you look down here, it looks like Rachel is going to be editing Sarah's paper, and as well, she's going to be editing Divya's paper. So keep that in mind. Make sure you keep up with this spreadsheet and take a peek at it once people have started to populate it so you can get started on your edits. So how do I edit a student's paper? Well, I want you to fill out this form as you go along, and hopefully it'll help you with that. Include your name and email address, the name of student whose paper you are editing, a link to that paper just so I can peek and make sure you've commented on it a little bit. If they wrote decline, you get off easy, you just write decline in this space. And then on their paper, you can comment directly on the doc for any of the following things. Maybe their language, their style, any grammar mistakes. Do they synthesize their sources correctly? Does their analysis make sense? And you can say, does it make sense? Or give suggestions here. You can give suggestions on their research proposal, or you can just give general feedback on things that you don't understand or you think they could improve. Let's say they have declined to submit their edits. You just hit no, and this form will submit. If you do complete edits, you'll move forward in this form. Then I want you to fill out 3 things they did really well in their paper, 2 things you have questions about, things you think they could expand on further, and then 1 critical comment in general about a section of their paper or their paper. Please type these strengths and suggestions, and remember that this is going to be shared with the students, so keep it cordial, keep it kind, but it'll be really helpful for them to see feedback from other students, and then I'll email this out to everyone after the feedback is complete. Alright, so that's how our writing workshops are going to go. Use this sheet to figure out whose paper you are editing, as well as a place to put your link and find the links to other pages. Write decline if you don't want to edit it, and then submit your 1 page that you want me to review in this doc as well. Remember to add a link by 11:59 p.m. on Friday. Whew! I think that's everything I wanted to share about this process. Hopefully this will be really helpful for your writing and your literature reviews. Remember, these don't have to be final versions. These are rough drafts. They can be rough. A few more pointers. If you would like to keep watching this video to see some writing pointers, I'm going to add a few more suggestions in just a moment. All right, for those of you who are a little stuck on writing your papers or struggling with language, I want to give you a few writing tips for your literature reviews. Remember, these are professional papers and they need to be written as such. So make sure you're not making some of the mistakes I'm going to discuss in a moment, and use some of these writing stems to help you out in generating your ideas. You can use some of these examples as ways to get your writing started. So I'm going to read through these, but make sure that you write them down or jot them down if you feel like you need to use them. So when you're synthesizing sources or bringing them together, you could say, these sources differ because, or these sources both support the idea. Each paper mentions, or likewise, blank explains, or other studies agree, or other studies disagree. While Lassiter characterizes blank blank blank, Reed argues that blank blank blank. Or while Lassiter focuses on this, the Reed source says this, or highlights, or emphasizes, or focuses on. Or although Lassiter claims blank 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 blank, Reed claims, or Reed points out, or Reed found. So think of ways to integrate these types of source stems into your writing. You can also say things like, make sure you refer to the sources by their names and years, not by the first source or the second article. So 3 studies that explored blank were examined for this review. That's the way you could start it and say 2 of the 3 studies observed blank and blank, or using this method, Lassiter et al. Found that blank blank blank, or although the study did not specifically discuss blank, it did show that blank, or Reed et al. Investigated blank and blank, the study revealed blank. So these are ways that you could integrate this type of writing with your ideas if you're saying lots of I's, or saying like, I saw in the first article that. You don't want to say that. So again, don't refer to your articles as the first one or the second article. Use the authors and years, which I already went through in my other examples, but you could say, for example, despite common beliefs, caffeine has not been found to improve exam performance. Or in 2018, Lassiter and Reed studied blank, blank, blank. And that way, researchers reading your article will know these articles by both the in-text citations and then the citations at the end of the paper that they can reference. As you're going through your paper, make sure to ask yourself the following questions once you kind of get enough pages together. Is your topic specific enough? Does your flow and order make sense? Did you add enough examples to support your ideas? Are you happy with all the sections that you've written so far? Are mechanics professional? Are they correct? Is your grammar correct? If you answered no to any of these questions, work on fixing these things right now. These are easy fixes. And then if you are working with a peer to edit your papers, you may want to highlight those sections that you're struggling with and point those out to other people. All right, that's all I wanted to review with you guys for today. Please make sure to email me with any questions or hop into my office hours. Good luck with your writing, and we're almost at the end.